We got interviews, we got conference predictions, and we're going to make this an express show because I have to drive to South Bend in a little while because there's a beautiful lady waiting for me. I didn't make it. I thought I'd make it there by this morning, but I got held up last night. With that in mind, say it.
Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning. Snowman here to all you Brock Purdy and San Francisco 49er haters. Shut up! I gotta thank you, Shane.
I mean, whatever happened to the games where breaking 100 points was, I don't know, unusual?
There was one word to sum up the All-Star weekend.
Trays. Cause we take this job so serious.
Splash Brothers, yes. Ray Allen, replace him with Steve Kerr. Reggie Miller, yeah.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Mush! Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah!
I can't do it.
All right,
We'll do it
ladies
live.
and gentlemen.
Do it live.
Here.
I'll write it and we'll do it.
Dang it! Cut that out. I hate pushing the wrong buttons. But
it is what it is. It is what it is.
You
It
gotta
is.
blame the fact our brains are fried after the EP of all EPs keeps screwing with us with that damn LeBron seal.
And also, you have a headache from your storms from yesterday, but you know, it is what it is.
I got a headache just from the heat from yesterday.
We ain't done with the storms here in the Northeast.
I know.
Trust me.
I know.
This
I may have to
It's gonna
drive.
be needed.
I may have to drive through one later.
Meanwhile,
Hang on tight, gents. Good morning. Welcome to the fabulous, fantastic football Friday edition of Snowman in the Morning. We are presented in part by Invader Coffee, fuel for the fearless. And as you can see, there are three of us this morning. We're waiting on the fourth member of the crew to join in, and he should be here any minute now. But a couple of pieces of news to get through, and we're going to do it this way. Here's the whip around presented by Fanatics. Don't look now, but the Indiana Fever hold the 8th spot in terms of the WNBA playoffs, courtesy of their 88-81 victory over the Washington Mystics earlier this week. Star guard Caitlin Clark had a double-double, 18 points and 12 rebounds. Aaliyah Boston finished with 22 points, and Indiana holds the 8th spot in the WNBA as of right now. Staying there, the Chicago Sky ended their 9-game losing streak yesterday with an 83-72 win over the Dallas Wings. Star forward Angel Reese posted her 7th consecutive double-double, which is a new WNBA record, with 16 points and 18 rebounds. This girl can ball. Give her the credit she deserves. This girl can absolutely ball. Sky win 82-73. And a bit of bad news from the WNBA in terms of the Los Angeles Sparks. 6'7" forward Cameron Brink has suffered a torn ACL. It is more than likely she will be out for the season. She was also part of selected to be a part of the Olympic 3-on-3 team. Cameron, we wish you well in your recovery. We wish you very, very, very well. Come back stronger, dear.
Got some news from the NBA here. JJ Redick to coach the Los Angeles Lakers next season.
Yeah, we're done. This is the whip around presented by Fanatics. Am I wrong?
No, you're not.
No,
I mean,
but I actually also had one more piece of news.
Okay, let me do this.
Linus
you got?
Ullmark is reportedly being sold. As the Ottawa Senators are currently looking for a new goalie, Linus Ullmark is the one turning heads, and he will possibly be ending up in Ottawa before next season.
Oh crap! Well, there goes our goalie.
Yikes! I'm glad
Austin, what are you doing?
It's Boston.
Don't remind
It's Boston.
Don't remind
Side of the
me.
Celtics, it's Boston.
Like I said, don't remind me.
And that's the whip around presented by Fanatics. Let's have some fun. Yesterday, we did our AFC picks. You will hear those in full to complete the first hour. And when y'all see us, it'll be the second hour, and we're going to do the NFC picks. And I get to beat up on Boston yet again.
Come on, give me a break here.
No.
Nah.
No.
Will you quit cussing? Back in a minute.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Join Ryan McCarthy.
I became a Jets fan because Kermit the Frog was my favorite Muppet because he was green, and the Jets wore green. That's how I became a Jets fan.
And Dustin Henry.
ESPN is cashing all in on let's pay a few personalities and we'll just kind of fill in the gaps.
As they walk you through all of the world of sports from their perspective.
The Albany Empire, it's a literal circus.
No credentials required. Where, Ryan, say the tag.
Where you don't need a press pass to talk sports.
Every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. On YouTube and where you can find all podcasts. Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets. Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to I can beat up black people.
As he takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central. No, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
The quickest way to get search engines like Google to put your business at the top of search results is by having a steady flow of positive reviews. With Power Brand Systems, you can show up in search and stand apart from your local competition by easily collecting new customer reviews through text message. But getting found is only the beginning. Most consumers choose the first business that responds to them. Unless you start conversations with potential customers almost instantly, they'll go somewhere else. That's why Power Brand Systems make starting conversations with website visitors as easy as clicking a button.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Now, y'all know I love to bring on different guests of different ilks, but my main thing is sportscasters and radio sports talk hosts. And I've had a myriad of them on this show in the last 10 years. But this fellow that I'm going to bring to you, like Jay Spivey, has a piece of my heart in Carolina. Do me a favor. Please help me welcome the host of The Drive with Josh Graham, the master of ceremonies himself, Mr. Josh Graham. And he joins me right now. What's going on, sir?
Master of ceremonies. Like, do I need to find, like, what is the itinerary? Who am I introducing? Who do I need to bring up next? What babies do I need to kiss? I don't know.
I knew you'd take that and run with it. I love it. Josh Graham joins us. We're going to do this as a get to know you kind of thing, a little mic to mic, a feature I love doing here on the show. And we're going to start with, where are you originally from?
I'm a North Carolinian. I was born in Baltimore, which is why I'm wearing the Orioles gear. My dad is a huge Baltimore sports fan growing up, back to the old Baltimore Colts, the whole deal. But I was born in Maryland, moved when I was 1, and all but 1 year of my life since then, I've lived in the state of North Carolina. That 1 year I was in Colorado right out of college, first college job, the whole deal, and spent some time living in Texas as well. And but mostly in the state of North Carolina and all parts of the state. Centrally, outside of Raleigh, in a town near Youngsville is where I grew up. Really, it's the city of Wake Forest, but that confuses people since Wake Forest University is in Winston-Salem, where I live now. And I went to college in the eastern part of the state, close to the beach, where East Carolina University is at. They're the Pirates, of course. And so North Carolina is my home.
Ah, you're a pirate. East Carolina Pirates.
Yes, sir.
What drew you to attend college at East Carolina? What was the draw there?
I knew I was going to do media when I was in high school in the mid 2000s. It's a weird time with the internet where people were still figuring things out. And I had a teacher at this charter school that I was at who was messing around with streaming and was a sports fan. And she presented to some of her older classes, juniors and seniors, hey, who would be interested in calling basketball games? And all of them were like, I don't think anybody in this room could do better than the guy who's a rising sophomore who is this encyclopedic knowledge for sports named Josh Graham. And she was the wife of the principal. So I remember getting called down to the principal's office thinking I was in trouble. And they're like, no, well, everybody in this class said that we should talk to you. And I created a broadcast program at this high school in Wake Forest, North Carolina, and called the games my junior and senior year. So when I arrived at ECU with a tape of things that I had already done, they had never seen anything like that from a freshman at that point. So I got on the radio immediately, and then I started writing. John Forsland, who's now the voice of the Seattle Kraken and does national hockey, who is the longtime voice of the Hurricanes, gave me great advice in saying, regardless if you want to pursue broadcasts, make sure you learn how to write. And I was with the newspaper, created a website that became a scout site with East Carolina, covering football mostly and recruiting. Worked for the yearbook there, the local TV station there, interned at a radio station. So at one point I was working 6 jobs simultaneously while going to school, and they were all media related. And it got to the point where it was so bad, all the things I was trying to do, that the folks with student media were like, we can't allow people to do this. So now they created a rule that you can only work at 1 or 2 of these outlets at once, because I worked at 6. And then I became the voice of ECU women's basketball while I was there. And they jumped to the American soon after that, joining the likes of UConn and Gino Auriemma, the whole deal. But it was the reps that presented. It's not really known for being a journalism school, but it presented the reps if you knew what you wanted to do, opportunities to get your feet wet.
I thought I was busy. Man, from the way you met, listen, the way I got started in broadcasting, and I don't tell this story often, but I will today. The way I got started was purely off of an idea. I grew up in Chicago. I love the Chicago Bulls, and my favorite announcer at the time was a fellow named Jim Durham, who called Bulls games with Johnny Red Kerr. So I heard Jim first in 85, got hooked in 86 when they moved to another radio station, and was a faithful listener of Bulls games. So my dad brought me this brick of audio tapes, and said, don't miss a game. Well, December 7th, 1995, I was going to head home, but my friend Kevin was heading to the gym at Chicago. I said, can you attach a microphone to that camera? He said, yes. What do you have in mind? So we attached the microphone to the camera. I grabbed a roster, got permission to tape, and there was my first play-by-play call.
Pretty cool. That is really cool.
What was it like when you did your first game at ECU?
I remember very difficult, some of the most difficult pronunciations I ever had. I remember one of the first games I ever did, there was a Hawaiian basketball player. I believe this was at Monmouth University in New Jersey, facing East Carolina. And her name was Chelsea. Seems easy enough. Okay. Chelsea. That's what's her last name? Kaluiokalani Glacken. Huh. So, and since I assumed this was a family show, I asked what her nickname was, and it was something I certainly couldn't say on air. So, of course, the person whose last name is Kaluiokalani Glacken has a nickname that I can't say on the air. Of course, that's
Understood. I come up with nicknames a lot. When I was covering Marquette Catholic High School a few years back, living up in LaPorte, I don't know what got into me, but there was a young lady who was starting her first game as a freshman. Her name was Morgan Crook. So they did the introductions. I recapped the lineup, and I did Marquette's lineup second, even though they were the visiting team.
Yeah.
And for some reason, out my mouth comes, Morgan, I am not a crook. Every parent in front of me fell out laughing. It got down to Morgan, and she loved it, and she kept the nickname all year. And the parents are like, how do you come up with these? I don't know. The situation just has to hit me. But I, too, have had some difficult names to pronounce. Like I did an exhibition game with Chicago State with a Lithuanian team. And I got no warning. I got no preparation. I barely had 20 minutes to prepare because they gave me all their notes at once. I don't know how I got through that game without making a mistake.
Good work. Good work.
What was your first game or show you did away from when you graduated from East Carolina?
I was in Colorado. I broadcasted high school sports, traveling across the state. It was a nice gig, kind of amazing that, they didn't, other than the pro sports they had in Denver, when you get out into the plains, which is essentially Kansas, when you get 3 hours east of Denver, they love high school sports. And there was a local car dealership. I'm trying to remember the name of the car dealership. That was a Ford dealership that would give me a different car for every trip I went on. And it wasn't just for football and basketball. This was for, softball and volleyball. And wrestling
wow.
and all, like, I'd go across the state doing tournaments with the sponsors that they had, the people that loved this and supported it. And the one that sticks with me was I remember being in the home of the Nuggets at that point, and the Avalanche, which at that point was Pepsi Center. Now it's Ball Arena. And I remember we were doing high school state championships for wrestling, and I'm thinking, why are they in a building that has 20,000 people? This is good. I'm in the hockey press box way up here with binoculars watching these matches. And then at one point it dawned on me, like, the entire building is sold out. It is sold out for high school state wrestling in the state of Colorado. And calling wrestling on the radio stood out to me that one year I was in Colorado after school.
You have fun doing it?
Yeah.
Just realizing there were 20,000 people there.
Sure.
and,
yeah.
And you were shocked I bet you were shocked to the gills when you wondered aloud, why am I in Ball Arena? And then you look down and there's 20,000 people in there for high school wrestling state championships.
Yeah. It's certainly added to it for sure.
What's your favorite sport to call and your favorite sport to watch?
I don't call many sports anymore now that I do. I've been doing a talk show in North Carolina for the last 8 years and the last 6 in the Triad area of North Carolina, western part of the state between Raleigh and Charlotte. The last 6 years we've been doing that. And but in terms of covering, it's the amount of eyeballs that's on the NFL allows for you to do a lot of different things in the locker room and get and the amount of traction you get from those types of things makes that an interesting sport to cover. My favorite to cover probably would be college basketball, just because of the high level play we have in our backyard, where I get to sit courtside at Cameron. I get to go to the Smith Center, and got to deal and cover Coach K and Roy Williams and now John Shire and Hubert Davis. And that's what makes this area special. That rivalry is a crown jewel of what we have, but it's not just those schools. NC State went to the Final Four for the first time since '83 this year. Wake Forest is a really good team coming back, and they might be that next team knocking on the door too. It's unique that you have 4 high-level programs in the same conference right next to each other the way that you have in the state of North Carolina. So that's probably what takes the cake for me.
Josh Graham, the man in charge of The Drive with Josh Graham. You can hear him on their flagship of WSJS down in North Carolina, or you can watch them online. It is a joy and a pleasure to have you on. Your show is great. I am hooked. I'm listening to it every day. Continued success to you, my friend.
No doubt. Thanks for doing this, Snowman. I'm glad we were able to do this. We'll have to do it again soon.
We will. A break and then more stuff for y'all when we get back.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Join Ryan McCarthy.
I became a Jets fan because Kurt the Frog was my favorite Muppet because he was green, and the Jets wore green. That's how I became a Jets fan.
And Dustin Henry.
ESPN is cashing all in on let's pay a few personalities and we'll just kind of fill in the gaps,
as they walk you through all of the world of sports from their perspective.
The Albany Empire, it's a literal circus.
No credentials required. Where, Ryan, say the tag.
Where you don't need a press pass to talk sports.
Every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. On YouTube and where you can find all podcasts. Hey, Eagles fan. Join my man Cool McCain and a host of others as they break down every single game, every single week in an objective manner, and also from a fan's perspective as well. Remember, this cast feels just like you. Nobody likes you. And you don't care. Fly, Eagles, fly. Eagles Elite Podcast. Every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube and other podcast outlets. Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
And ever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do two circles, and that translates to I can beat up black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, No, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
The quickest way to get search engines like Google to put your business at the top of search results is by having a steady flow of positive reviews. With Power Brand systems, you can show up in search and stand apart from your local competition by easily collecting new customer reviews through text message. But getting found is only the beginning. Most consumers choose the first business that responds to them. Unless you start conversations with potential customers almost instantly, they'll go somewhere else. That's why Power Brand systems make starting conversations with website visitors as easy as clicking a button.
Everything Boston. I love you morons. New Kids on the Block, New Edition.
Dear whatever the law firm is. Sincerely, the U.S. Supreme Court.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Go yourself again, Jason
Ready to hang with some fellas who know football? Let's ride. LC Muscles 28.
I think they're the most overrated defense in the league.
Steel Sermon.
We did not trail for a single second.
Tiny Tim.
McCarthy is a bonehead.
A Pizzle 90.
I'm going with my boys. Fins up, baby.
Get ready for the Four Horsemen of Pick'ems. Every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on YouTube. Poppy J.
You got the option to cry for the government. You got the option to protest. You got the option to keep buying. But this is also an option.
Wise El Jefe.
We're the first tech geeks. We're the first gamers. We're the first everything. Everything. Like Gen X's, we are the ones.
BS3 Network proudly presents the crew from the New York boroughs who never wants that smoke. Nah, they want that fire. Poppy J and Wise El Jefe. Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
Mister? How do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first rendition of The Reactor. Today I am joined by my friend Remington Yates, hailing from northeastern Missouri. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. You know, it's hot up here. It's hot down in Florida, and things are heating up here in the Stanley Cup Final.
The Florida Panthers are 15-7, and the Edmonton Oilers are 14-9, and they will be playing tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Now, of course, I'm a Panthers fan. I have a lot of bias for the Panthers, but for you as a neutral in this Stanley Cup final, as you are a Blues fan, what do you think went wrong with the Panthers?
Honestly, I think they've just started getting a little more overconfident with their abilities and everything like that. Definitely letting Connor McDavid being able to set up where he needs to, not being able to let Matthew Tkachuk being able to set up behind the net where he is most dangerous. As I have been able to watch him and see, he's most dangerous from behind the net. He can look behind the net, find who's open. As we saw in the last game, he was able to find a nice open path, get it back to Ekman Larson, and Larson just put it right in the back of the net.
That is true. I've been looking, and Kachuk has just been super quiet. He's been mainly feeding the points on assists, as he actually is the points leader for the Panthers with 22 points in the playoffs to Connor McDavid's 42, which could possibly set a brand new record in the playoffs if this goes 7, which I hope it does not. The goals leader will be Carter Verhaeghe and Zach Hyman for both sides. Assist leader, 16 assists for Kachuk, 34 for Connor McDavid, and no surprise seeing Gustav Forsling leading the plus-minus with a plus 13. Gustav Forsling is an interesting story. You look where he started, drafted by Vancouver in the 2014 draft, same draft as Aaron Ekblad, Sam Reinhart, Sam Bennett, and Leon Draisaitl. Went to Chicago after playing a few years in the minors, and then got claimed off waivers by the Panthers, and now he is a star defender. What do you think of defensemen that have those come out stories like that?
I mean, defensemen overall in the league just don't get enough attention. There's a lot of defensemen out there because nowadays you don't get a lot of the defensemen that can score because being able to shoot from the line has become a lot more difficult. The goalkeeping has gotten a lot better than back in the day when you got guys like Bobby Orr and everything just shooting from the line and everything. They just step back and put a slapper right back there. You still had guys like Al McInnes, though, in the 90s who was hitting them at 100 miles per hour, and goalkeepers are like, I don't want to face that. I don't. But nowadays, you don't have a lot of the guys that can do that, hit the slap shot at 100 miles per hour. But a guy that's able to do what he can on the defensive end is important for me because people don't always look at the defensive end of the sport.
And I'm looking at everything else. Bobrovsky is 15-7. Skinner has not played the entirety of the playoffs. 13-8 with Calvin Pickard hosting a 1-1 record. Sergei Bobrovsky with a 2.35 and Stuart Skinner hosting a 2.53. And Bubba, who started this series with one of the best save percentages in Stanley Cup final history, is now down to a .906. And remember, there's of course the fourth line that has been the most switched around in the playoffs, with guys like Okposo, Lorenz, Cousins, and Lomberg being switched out constantly. But there is one player who I have not seen once, and it's a guy by the name of Jonah Gadjevich. I say, as a Panthers fan who loves to see grit and grindy, bring back the OG fourth line with Ryan Lomberg, Kevin Stenlin, and Jonah Gadjevich. Because when you got Gadjevich getting into the Oilers' heads, and then you got Lomberg with his speed and Stenlin with his ability to actually win faceoffs, I don't know about you, but that's a chemistry to win.
Yeah, absolutely. That is chemistry to win a game there, being able to get in your opponent's head. You got good speed, and the biggest thing is having the guy that can win the faceoff and then get it to the guy with speed. And, your guy that gets in their head is just making them get back. But one of the biggest issues, though, still for Florida, I think, is Brown, who on the forecheck for the Oilers, he has been an absolute menace for the Panthers in these last few games on the forecheck, where he's just constantly down there having a one-on-one battle and putting shots on Bob.
I also think that the biggest kryptonite for the Edmonton Oilers has been a guy by the name of Darnell Nurse. In this final, Evan Bouchard has posted a +12. Darnell Nurse has posted a -11. And he has not missed a game. So Edmonton I think, is very lucky that they're not giving Darnell Nurse and Cody Cece as much ice time as they're giving Bouchard and Ekholm, their two best defenders. And I specifically am going to look at on the offensive side, Dylan Holloway. He's played all 23 games. 7 points is pretty solid for a guy like him. If you were to come into these playoffs and tell me, oh, Dylan Holloway is actually going to be a pretty big factor for the Oilers, I would have been like, who? Who? He's 22, hailing from the rivals of the Edmonton Oilers. He's from Calgary. And he was drafted in the first round with the 14th pick, 6'1", 206, born on the 23rd of September. And he has a pretty solid playoff performance for one of his first finals appearances in his career. I look back at a lot of these games. There was one thing I noticed. The Panthers never fixed the cherry picking problem. In every game so far this finals, you see at least one cherry picking breakaway. There's a lot of factors that need to go into play to be able to stop something like this. What do you think the Panthers could do with their defensemen to stop cherry picking?
I think one of the big things they need to do is being able to be physical. I mean, you got to make a guy afraid to go after the puck, knowing he's probably going to get put right in the boars. That's something I need to see a lot more out of the defense. They were putting up good bodies, but just not hard enough. They need to hit a little harder, in my honest opinion. This was a big thing when this series first started was, the Oilers only have skill players, whereas Florida has depth. Well, that depth ain't really been showing up. The defensemen haven't been hitting as well. And, the scoring just isn't as high as it needs to be. You're starting to see these skills players start breaking out. The reason people say depth will win you a cup is because the guys can get physical. They need to be getting physical and showing, hey, these skills guys can't handle the physicality of the Stanley Cup final. You got to beat them down, make sure they can't keep going, and we got the cup.
And that was something I really noticed in Game 1 in that shutout victory was the Panthers came out flying. They didn't play the first period, but they played the last two with a lot of body. And I look at the hit counters, especially on Sam Bennett. 82 hits these playoffs, almost cracking 100. No other player on the Panthers is even close to that. The second closest, I think, is either 64 from Kachuk. Oh, no, it's Ekblad with 66 hits is the closest to Bennett's 82. I go looking at the Oilers. Barely any of these guys are breaking 40. One player is breaking 60, and that's Evander Kane, and he was scratched. Their toughest guy was scratched. And you know why? It's because of Dylan Holloway, the guy I mentioned earlier. 77 hits for Dylan Holloway these playoffs. He's been that grit, grindy, physical guy that the Oilers have been needing to show up, show out, and just have fun. And I know a lot of coaches are going to be like, go in and have fun. Paul Maurice and be like, needs to go into that locker room tonight and say, you can have fun, but don't mess it up.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Maurice, we seen the reaction of the manager in the last game. I watched the video reaction, and he literally pulled a Cam Neely in 2019 when the refs missed a call and the Blues should have got called for a tripping, but sent them to Game 6 where they could win the cup at home. But Neely threw a water bottle, and so did the GM of the Panthers. And now Maurice is sitting there wondering, is my job on the line after that reaction? Because we started off so great in the finals. If we mess this up, is my job on the line? A flounder like that, you go 3-0 in the series and then lose it all like that, I would kind of consider my options.
I mean, when you look at Paul Maurice, I remember the Fire Maurice tweets. I remember the Paul Maurice is one of the worst coaches in the league tweets. I remember the Reddit post on r/Florida Panthers just dogging on Maurice for being a quote unquote terrible coach. And I think if Bill Zito does fire him after losing this, if we did, I think it's a stupid decision. Yeah, you're 2-0 in the finals, but here's the thing. You made the finals back-to-back years. Don't pull a Tampa and fire your best coach, John Cooper, just because you didn't make just because you were losing them in the finals. You best be happy that you even got the chance to be in the finals. And here's the thing. Vegas did, yes, they did win their cup on home ice. But you know who didn't win their cup on home ice? The Colorado Avalanche. And who did they defeat? The Tampa Bay Lightning. And I've seen a bit of a pattern in the last few years. It's always been white, dark, white, dark, white, dark in terms of jerseys. It is very common to see that pattern. And I remember this because I saw it after the 2018 Cup Finals when this pattern started. You saw the Capitals win it in Vegas, and then Blues win it in Boston. After that, it was Tampa winning it in the bubble with dark jerseys, and then the Lightning would go on to win it in 2021 in where?
I can't even remember that cup year. I don't. That cup year I like to forget.
So 2021, that was the Honda Canada division year.
Yeah.
I believe it went no, it didn't go dark jerseys. So the pattern actually started after 2020 because it went Bolts wearing their lights for 2020, and then in 2021 they won it at home against Montreal, and then they lost it in home against Colorado. Vegas beat the Panthers at home, and then the Oilers are playing a Game 6 tonight to possibly even lose this cup and keep the pattern going. Now, I don't like being conspiracy theories with the NHL being like, oh, it's scripted and all this. Because I think calling a sport scripted is a way to insult every single player in that sport's craft. The craft they will work so hard to perfect, the craft they work so hard to be the best player on their team is immediately diminished when you start to factor in scripting. And I think this isn't scripted. I get it that nobody wanted to see a sweep. Well, you didn't get your sweep, all right? You didn't get a sweep. You got a 6-game series. I hope my Panthers close it out tonight because I have already gotten enough of a headache from not only working the morning show, but having to deal with high school kids at an internship, and then watching my team could possibly blow a 3-0 series lead. And I am going to say this now. Florida, you are not the Toronto Maple Leafs. Blowing leads is not your thing. So do me a favor, close it out tonight. I don't want to feel like 2018 St. Louis, all right? Close it out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. When Paul Maurice is going into this game, do not have even the slightest thought of pulling Bob. I'm sorry. It did not work. Pulling goalies does not work. It's a good chance it could work sometimes, but most of the time it doesn't. It leaves your net wide open. We've seen it happen. The Edmonton Oilers tried it. You tried it. It didn't work. Just stop. He has kept you in this series. He's the one that started this whole series. Shutout, win. He puts up the wins, and then all of a sudden, 8-1, and then you pull them in the last game, and then you have a 6-4 game, right? Or
5-3.
5-3. 5-3 game. So tonight, don't even think about it. Just leave him in there. And if you know what, he starts having a bad night, look at your backup. Sometimes the backup can be a guy that can pull out for you on a night. He's the guy that could win you a cup. It's happened.
I mean, yeah. I mean, when you look at 2019 St. Louis, Jordan Bennington was technically the backup. And then we realized that not we. I'm not a Blues fan. And then they realized Jake Allen's playing terrible. Hey kid, do you want a chance to win a cup? Yeah.
And you get to punch people in the face? Of course you get to punch people in the face. It's hockey. I'm in.
Then Jordan Bennington would go on to take the 2019 St. Louis Blues all the way to the Stanley Cup final after beating the Jets in 6, the Stars in 7, the Sharks in 6, and the Bruins in 7.
Yeah.
There is no pattern, okay? Because we only have these best of 7 series, all right? And I personally knew that New York was screwed from the get-go. Because didn't they have a series lead over the Hurricanes?
Yes.
It was 3-0. And it went to 6. When you factor in travel days, it went to 6.
Yeah.
It was played on Thursday, May 16th, and the Rangers squeaked out with a 5-3 win. I knew as soon as our series is over against Boston that we were winning against New York. I don't like to make guarantees. I'm no Mark Messier. But damn, I knew something was off about that New York team. And I'm going to be honest, the Panthers, we walked in with a foot up our rear, all right? We walked in too confident. And yes, that confidence got us wins. But what's going on now? What's the excuse? What is the excuse, Florida? Because I am personally, as a Panthers fan for a long time, sick of watching this team play. You got to give me a reason tonight to watch the entirety of this game. Give me a reason. Because I gave up after 5-1 in Game 4. I didn't give up in last game because I was like, you know what, we could get this. And then Maurice pulled the goalie, and I'm like, all right, let me go take a nap. We've tied games without pulling Bob. So, Maurice, if we are down in this game, which we should not be down in this game, don't pull Bob. I don't care how much you love to run with a man up. Actually, no, it seems like you like to run with a man down with how many penalties your players are taking. Hold on. Give me a second. Live research. I'm going to look back, and I'm going to tell you how many penalty minutes the Panthers had in the last 2 games. In Game 5, the Panthers gave the Oilers 5 power plays, plus 1 4-on-4. It's 12 minutes of penalty time. Oilers only had 8 minutes. That's 3 power plays and 1 4-on-4. And it's very consistent. I'm noticing this. Because we had 12 penalty minutes in that game we lost. So, Maurice, look at your players who are taking the most penalty minutes and say, stop it. Just stop. Because it is getting ridiculous. But also,
one of the things for me is I watched the last game. There were some soft calls by the refs, in my honest opinion. there was a slash that was barely a slash. There was they called Kachuk for the embellishment. I did not agree with the embellishment. They called someone for a hook, and he's just trying to skate the other way. The last game, the refs kind of gave some soft calls to the Oilers. And I was just like, what are we doing here? This is the Stanley Cup Finals where murder is basically legal, but we're making these kinds of calls? What are we doing here, refs? I don't ever like blaming refs, but there were some soft calls in that game, in my opinion.
Refs for Chris Rooney and Jean Hebert, the two worst refs in the playoffs so far. And honestly, I probably have a bigger headache from watching my Panthers play than I have in a while. I don't get migraines often, but just trying to understand why we're losing is a whole nother headache. And I know I keep being like, message to the Panthers, do this, do that. But I'm serious. It's getting ridiculous. Our penalty kill was the number 1. Where did that go? We were able to kill the Oilers power play. Where did that go? Yes, we might be better on the face-off percentages. We might be better on the goals against average and all that. But until Paul Maurice can show us that we can play, that they can play 3 periods of hockey, we are losing this series. This will go to 7 in Amaret Bank Arena, and Connor McDavid will lift Lord Stanley. I am literally getting sick of it. It's almost as bad as that one little phase I had watching the Blues from 2015 to 2019. Consistently making the playoffs with nothing to go off of. And that one year we even missed the playoffs. And I just had to sit and cheer for whoever. 2019, the Blues didn't get lucky, of course. They definitely had the skill. They had the depth. But the Panthers, there is no excuse for this. There's no excuse for all this. You can't media your way out of this, all right? And the thing I have been saying for a while on the morning show is that they need to let these refs be spoken to by the media. We need to hear the explanation of a lot of these calls. Because I'm tired of hearing from New York the explanation of the calls. That knee in game 3, that was a knee. That wasn't tripping. That was direct knee on knee with no effort to change to a hip check. There was no effort. And the thing is, you said E2 could have got it out of the way. He could not have. Did you not see how fast Nurse closed the distance? You got to think he's Connor McDavid. If you think he's going to move that fast, come on, man. It's getting ridiculous. I personally, not just as a Panthers fan, as an NHL fan, have been absolutely just disgusted by the referees in the last 21 years. I've been watching this league since I was born. 21 years. And what has changed? We're getting softer. And I know you're like, the player safety is all about, making sure people don't get hurt, but that doesn't seem the case anymore. Because you have guys like Leon Draisaitl practically two-hand cross-checking the face of Alexander Barkov, no fine. The only fine from that series of events, including a knee-on-knee contact between Warren Fogle and Sam Bennett, the only fine was a slash fine. That was it. And NHL, if you care so much about player safety, where's the fines? You care so much about player safety, but you're too focused on finding a goaltender for playing old-time hockey. You got your foot so far up your rear, you don't care even if a player uses their stick as a lightsaber and literally whacks somebody in the head. You'll turn a blind eye to that. And Ray, you can attest to this as a Blues fan.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The way they've treated like Jordan Binnington, even though, a lot of his teammates never really stood up to him, and he's just like, fine, I'll do it myself. Binnington, people go like, oh, Binnington's just immature and everything. No, he's basically the new Patrick Waugh. He will fight. He will throw hands. He will play dirty if he has to. People like, I think it was one year he was in the cup finals, or it was maybe the regular season. He comes out and makes a check on the guy in the back while Melso passing the puck off. And people go, oh, look at him fall over. I'm like, that's a smart play. He gets in the way of the defender or the attacker trying to steal the puck away from his defender. He just makes a body check on him in his trapezoid. He can do that. It's, people treat this sport like it shouldn't be. What made this sport popular as compared to what made NASCAR popular? The fights, the arguments, stuff like that. And now you're seeing this sport try and be taking away the one thing that kept it different from all the other sports. And you see guys like Travis Kelce and all them going like, yeah, can we have fighting in the NFL? It's the fights. It's the fighting that makes hockey hockey. I don't care if it's madness and violence. It's the point. You're playing on a dangerous surface, and you got a game that's not going your way. Get a fight going and get your team going.
And here's the thing: another thing that makes hockey hockey is the general speed. Yeah, NFL players are fast, but they're fast with cleats on hard surfaces. On skates, you can get up to like 30 miles an hour. And the thing is, if that's enough to damage your front fender on your 2020 Tacoma, then it is enough to send you flat on the ice. Because remember, it's just like any wreck in NASCAR. You're going from a high speed to a zero speed. And yes, that is a risk for injury, but it's what makes hockey hockey. And the thing is, the last time I seen a person get dropped from a high speed check was Paul Correa. And that was the last serious one. When was the last time you heard of a serious open ice hit that sent somebody down the tunnel and not returning until the third period?
I couldn't think of any.
And the fact that Paul Correa even returned tells you how grit and grindy these players are. And I hate to
that's not even the hits aren't even the most dangerous part of hockey. We've watched guys get shot in the chest by a puck, and then they all of a sudden are having a heart attack on the bench.
Oh yeah,
Chris
Jay Bouwmeester against the Ducks.
Bouwmeester, yeah.
And then you also have these slashing calls. Back in the day, when Sidney Crosby was still known as Sid the Kid, he literally chopped a man's finger off. And that was just 2 minutes slashing. Now, if you even touch a guy with your stick, it's 2 minutes for slashing. I don't know when we got as soft as his Dallas Cowboys, but we got soft. Which, speaking of the NFL, bring a team back to St. Louis. Anyways, it's
with
getting
a good
soft.
owner. Give us a good owner too.
It's getting soft. I'm sorry. I hate to be the bearer of bad news to old-time NHL fans, especially the guys in their 50s. It's getting ridiculous. And the thing is, I don't even get mad anymore when one of our players gets dropped. I'm like, damn, he got dropped. Now, if it's a dirty play, I'm like, okay, that's a bit of dick move, but I'm not going to get too mad about it because it's the type of hockey I love. I love big hitting hockey. I love grit grindy, doing whatever you can to win hockey. But it feels like we've lost that spark because we're too focused on the protection of nothing. You're focused on the protection of nothing. You're not really protecting anybody. You're hurting the sport. That's my 2 cents on the player safety, man. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, if you do want to catch the game, it is tonight. And I remember I said this, tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. You can find it on networks like ABC, ESPN Plus in Canada. You can find it on Sportsnet, CBC, and then TVAS.
You also have the NHL app to watch it on, and you can also listen to the radio broadcasts.
560 WQAM for the Panthers. That is Doug Plagens on the call. I'm not sure of the Oilers, though. I don't know the Oilers play caller that well.
Yeah, I can't either.
But still, make sure to... And the thing is, if you're a basketball fan and you watch the show, give hockey a chance. I say this to everybody who watches any sport. Football, basketball, soccer. Don't matter what sport you watch. Hockey can bring people together like that. And let's hope on Monday I can come into the show screaming my head off saying we won the cup. And not with a desolate look on my face that screams, I hate this. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been your segment of The Reactor. Thank you for joining us. And Remington, it's a pleasure doing this with you again.
Of course.
I'm sure this will be like kind of your application to Snowman, because I think he'd like you. I think he'd like you.
Well, we'll see. I'm a busy guy anymore, so...
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
If I can just keep being a guest, that's fine. I'll be good.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. And now, let's have a break. After this, back with some more NFC predictions.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
One of the great things about ordering meals from Mother of Macros is that you can do it from the comfort of your own home. Click the national or local delivery link to access the menu, and we'll ship the meals right to your door. We understand you won't always have time to plan, shop, prepare, and cook to provide healthy nutrition for your family, so the process is simple and saves you hours. We know you're busy, so our meals are professionally prepared and packaged. You only need to heat them up and enjoy. We provide macro-balanced, delicious meals, chock full of fresh, local ingredients with none of the stuff you don't want to eat. Plus, our menu changes every week, keeping your taste buds wanting more. We take care of your meals so you can worry about everything else on your list. Mother of Macros.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
So, Droid kind of helped us out a little bit by pushing us out of the way for segment 3 and introducing the reactor with Droid. And now I got to work on a kick-ass intro for him. I have what I know what I have in mind. You're muted, Droid.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Droid, what the hell is wrong with you?
I was listening because I was like, did I say back in a minute? I was like, let's, and I realized I said, let's go to a break. When we come back, more NFC predictions is what I said.
Ah, okay. Well, y'all are going to see me playing around here with y'all Y'all gonna see me playing around here with the setup. So I want y'all to hang tight with me. You may see a few different alignments here, but let's go to our NFC. There we go. That's what I wanted right there. Boom. Save it that way. Let's go to our NFC predictions. Let me test something really quick. Droid, forgive me. Zoop. No, not that. Damn it. Zoop. Off. Okay. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Okay. I'll leave it here for the rest of the show, and then I'll just break all this down. How do y'all like it? Y'all like it this way?
I think maybe if you got like a border that surrounds the bottom cam, then yeah, maybe it'd work a little bit better.
Okay, so borders around these, right?
Like around the bottom cam, yeah.
Around the bottom cam. Okay. And then, okay, now I know what to do. Here we go. Let's start with the NFC North, and we're going to start with the Burrs.
0 and 17.
I'm going to say, do we have to?
This will be quick.
0 and 17.
And now I want y'all to not give predictions of who win or lose, because the Bears are going to go 0 and 17. I want some scores. Here we go. Week 1, they host Tennessee.
Tennessee wins that one 45-10.
Nah, just 10-0. That's all it's gonna be. Because Tennessee sucks.
I'm gonna go 35-7.
Week 2, they go to Houston.
That's a shellac, and they're gonna hang a 50 on them.
50. I'll give the Bears 3 because that kicker's got a leg.
58-3.
58-3. Week 3, they go to Lucas Oil and face the Indianapolis Colts.
Indy hangs another 50 burger up.
I wouldn't say I'm gonna be not Colts bias. I'm gonna say 33-10. I say not Caleb Williams doing anything. I think it's just gonna be a stupid play by AR5 for interception.
I'll say 45-17.
I'm not even giving them 17. 52-0. I'm not giving them a doggone thing because it's the Bears and they suck. Week 4, they host the Los Angeles Rams. Start with Victor.
40. I would say 44-20. Caleb Williams probably has his best game.
All right, Droid.
Oh Lord, is this in SoFi or is this in Chicago?
It's in Chicago.
It's in Chicago.
In Chicago.
It's in Soldier Field, unfortunately.
Definitely going to be Williams' best game. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna give the Matthew Stafford the respect he deserves. 45-10 Rams.
Agreed.
38-14 LA wins.
I don't think the Bears even scored 20 this season.
No, I don't see it. I don't see it. I'm sorry. I just don't see it. All right. Week 5. They host the Carolina Panthers.
Scoreless.
And I'll go first. Thank you, Victor. You read my mind. Victor read my mind. I want anarchy, damn it. Scoreless tie.
I know that, we'd love to see a scoreless tie. I think that's Carolina's one and only win the entire season.
Damn.
I wouldn't put it past it.
Nor would I.
Unless Bryce Young steps up like he was supposed to.
Last year, yeah.
That's their only win. I would love to see success in Carolina. My dad is a Carolina Panthers fan. Pray for him.
I was for him too.
Listen, when I lived in North Carolina, they made it all about the Panthers. And I'm like, why? What the hell are y'all thinking? Well, it was North Carolina, so I answered my own question. Duh.
And here's the funny thing. Because of, when the Carolina Panthers became a team, a hockey team in Carolina won a championship before they did.
The Canes.
Yep. Carolina Hurricanes.
The Caniacs.
The Caniacs.
For week 5, give me Carolina over Chicago 3-0.
I'll do even worse. Give me Carolina over the Bears 2-0.
I was thinking that, but I backtracked it.
A safety?
Caleb Williams is going to do something stupid, and the Panthers will catch him.
Wow.
And you know when that safety happens, as the clock goes dead.
A walk-off safety.
A walk-off safety.
I'm sticking
You
with my
really
guns.
want anarchy?
Hell yeah.
I'm sticking to my
It'll be
guns.
it'll be a walk-off safety.
I'm sticking to my guns. They do overtime, and it's still a scoreless tie.
You know what? That's my second score.
4 picks
They play
apiece.
5 minutes. They play only 5 minutes of overtime because the fans are so bored.
It'd be 4 interceptions apiece.
5.
I'm gonna be
5.
fair. You know, I'm as
not.
much as I love to make fun of these teams, Carolina could actually be a good squad if they gave Bryce Young some like decent weapons.
Like an offensive line.
Yeah, they need a line. They need a line.
So because of how bad the Bears are, in terms of
Everything.
everything,
Yeah,
including
everything.
their defensive line, I say that the Panthers actually get a decent score. I say let's give it a fair 24-10.
Okay.
I want a scoreless tie.
I'm
Screw
still
it.
going to score this tie.
I want to score. I want a scoreless tie.
Okay.
And they got to play. And they got to start that at 1 o'clock.
All right.
Good. Do not flex it. Listen, NFL. Do not flex this game. Please do not flex this game.
There's no reason to.
Okay. Week 6. They go across the way to play the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh God.
The Bears will be the first team with 2 consecutive scoreless ties.
Trevor Lawrence makes a day out of the Bears.
Actually, like
I can see it.
I'm giving it 32-3.
That's a good
He said 32, not 31, 32.
32-3.
So that means there has to be at least one safety somewhere.
Yeah.
No, or a 2-point conversion.
True.
They get a 2-point. They get 2 points.
Mr. Sunshine Trevor Lawrence gets a 2-point conversion just to stick it in the Bears' craw.
Tony Khan finally does something right and books a win, 28-3.
I think this is I personally think this is going to be Trevor Lawrence's wake-up game. And this is where he's going to start getting up, actually doing something for the rest of the season. And he's going to drop 45 on him.
Ooh.
Yo.
Damn.
Okay.
All right, let's move on. Week 7, they get a bye and they lose. Week 8, they go to Washington to face the Redskins and they lose.
And they get
Week 9, they go to Arizona and a scoreless tie happens.
I got Arizona 7-3.
This game,
How about 3-0?
This
I say Kyler Murray gets injured in the first quarter, and then a random backup absolutely dominates the Bears.
You know what? And that's so Arizona.
Josh Dobbs comes back to Arizona.
In all sheer honesty,
You know what? I wouldn't put it past them.
In all sheer honesty, if the Bears
I would not put it past them.
All sheer honesty, if the Bears do get
Good Lord, I
were
wouldn't
to
put it.
get
I
a
would not
win,
put it past them at all.
If the Bears were
Josh
to get a win,
Call-
it'd be this one. If the
Can we
Bears
let,
were
can
to,
we let
Lord.
Victor the man speak? Jesus.
I think
Victor,
if the Bears
please help.
If the Bears were to get a win, this would be the one. I cannot see anyone more useless than Call of Booty Murray besides Brandon Staley.
Who is the Arizona backup? Hold on.
That's a good question.
That's a good
Live
question.
research, folks. Who is the Arizona? You know what? I don't know.
I guess I have to specifically look up backup QB.
Yeah.
You'd be better off.
We all do.
Desmond Ritter.
Desmond Ritter.
Oh God.
Who?
Desmond Ritter,
Atlanta quarterback from last year.
former Falcon quarterback. Desmond Ritter is the
He
backup.
didn't do bad last year.
No, he didn't do bad.
Repeating my 2 words.
I think with Marvin Harrison, I think Desmond Ritter can do something.
Repeating my 3 words. Oh dear God.
Yeah. Like I said, if this were the game for the Bears to win, it would be this one.
Mm-hmm. Because they ain't winning week 10.
No.
Somehow Drake May hangs 500 yards on the Bears.
Yeah,
That's
Drake.
if he starts.
Drake May.
Drake May will not start that game.
They will not
Drake
start.
May. I'm giving 5 touchdowns to Drake May over the Bears.
Yeah, 5 touchdowns and 500 yards.
That's even if he sniffs the field, Victor. Come on now.
I mean, we got.
I mean, who else is really going to take the starting job right now?
Jason,
who wants it?
Jason
According to
Who?
Robert Kraft, it'd be probably Jacoby Brissett.
Brissett. Okay, I'll take Brissett over May. Honestly.
I won't.
I must say,
They got rid of their best chance in Nathan Rourke. I will not stop saying that. Now,
Again, what do you expect out of Kraft mac and cheese and Hellman's mayo?
Oh, hey. Okay, live research, folks. I just got something that's making me smile.
Okay.
And that is?
The Indianapolis Colts signed former KU quarterback Jason Bean.
I guess AR5 is going to have a pretty good backup.
A present for Dr. K.
As an undrafted free agent.
And she just texted me a big fat smile.
Yes, Lord.
She just texted me a big fat smile. 11, 12, and 13. Lost.
Yeah.
14, you already know.
That's that's a nuclear warhead getting dropped.
Right.
That'll be a 70-point game.
So for the Pack Bears, I'll be nice. 27-14.
I'm not going to be nice.
Wait,
Vikings and
Packers and Bears or Vikings and Bears?
You got
Packers
Packers Bears week 11.
Packers Bears. Jordan Love hangs 60 on them.
Yep.
Damn.
Wait a minute. Here's how the next 4 games will go. All right. The Packers are hanging 40. Minnesota hangs 45. Detroit hangs 50 with 500 yards rushing.
55.
And the Niners hang 70 with 600 yards rushing.
70 to nothing.
70 to nothing.
I'm going 40, 45, 45, and 60.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 40. I'm gonna say 40 to 20 in favor of the Pack. 45 to 10 in favor of the Vikes. 55 to 3 Lions in favor. And then 70-0 49ers.
For the Lions.
What's your predictions for those 4?
I need to know what week are they facing the Lions?
Week 13 and then 16.
13. So this is late season Lions.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a 70-point game.
Oh, damn.
I think Packers hang 40 on them. Vikings with JJ McCarthy 20. That's max we get.
And then week 14. How bad do you
To
want?
all my Chicago Bears fans, you will be the proud owner of the first triple-digit loss in NFL history.
A Madden score.
It is going to look like a score of a 49ers fan after losing the Super Bowl twice.
It's gonna be a Madden basketball score.
Oh my gosh. And then they return back to reality with Minnesota. They're at Minnesota, so Paul Allen's going to lose his voice.
Yep.
And the Vikings hang 50 on him. 16, it's the Lions. That'll be another 40-point
This is where
game.
they shut the door. This is where the Lions shut the door on the division.
And they clinch the division.
17
is the Seahawks. That's a tie. And 18.
I'll give the Seahawks that one. I don't.
I was going
to beat the Seahawks.
What did I say?
I was actually going to say that the Seahawks actually take this one and immediately tie.
And then 18, they go to Green Bay, and that's going to be a shellacking.
Yep. I'm going to say 58.
That's going to be a shellacking.
58.
All right, quickly to the Lions.
All right.
I think Lions are definitely making playoffs this year. I'll say that. They have the
Well, Lions are going to win the Central Division. I have the Lions winning the Central Division. All right, here we go. Wait a minute. Wait. Something just came across our desk.
Okay.
and I believe it's a trade. All yours, Droid.
So, y'all know who Alex Caruso is, right?
Yes. Oh God, no.
The Chicago Bulls are trading Alex Caruso to the OKC Thunder in
Oh.
exchange for Josh White Boy Giddey.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh.
And trans.
That's
back
worse
to
than
business.
LeBron trade.
I was
Back
saying
to,
who?
back to business. Week 1 for the Lions. They host the Rams, and they're gonna kill them.
Yeah,
they're gonna kill them.
This is Jared Goff basically giving another middle finger to the Rams.
Yeah,
They're gonna kill the Rams. They're gonna kill the Rams. They're gonna kill Tampa Bay. They're gonna brutalize Arizona and Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Week 5, they rest. Week 6, they're gonna brutalize Dallas.
Yep.
In Dallas.
That's gonna be a mess.
Week 7, Paul Allen loses his voice and cries at the same time. Week 8, Tennessee gets buried.
Yep.
Week 9, something funky happens and Green Bay beats them.
Yeah.
Week 10, the Texans will bury him.
Texans
they bury the
will.
Jaguars.
Yep.
The Colts run them over. They bury the Bears. They bury the Packers. They lose to the Bills. Bury the Bears again. Then this one.
Ooh, this is gonna be fun.
I'm taking Monday off
NFC
to do
Championship
this one.
rematch.
45-35 San Francisco.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that.
42-35.
45-42 walk-off field goal.
Ooh, I like that one. And that seals
They should
home.
make you
And
the
that'll,
scriptwriter for the NFL.
and that'll
Shane.
seal the number 1 seed. 2 weeks prior, we'll clinch the division. This win will seal the number 1 seed. And then they finish with Minnesota, and it ain't gonna matter.
No, it's not.
Because
Paul Allen
Minnesota's
loses his
gonna
voice again.
That's where the backups will come in. The backups will come in. In fact, I think what will happen is because the Lions should take the division before this. They're probably going to rest the starters for Chicago and the rest the starters for Minnesota. They will play the starters.
Starters against the Bears.
I believe it. I believe it. All right.
I got them winning the Central after they beat unfortunately, I got a feeling they're going to lose to the Bills, but the rest of the Central is going to go down with them anyway. So
yeah, they're going to run through the Central.
That'll clinch it.
They'll run through the Central Division. We'll stay in the Central. We got the Vikings next, and here's how I lined them up. They lose to the Giants. They lose to the 49ers. They lose to the Texans, and Green Bay buries them in week 4. They beat the Jets, lose to Detroit, kill the Rams, and get smashed by the Colts.
The schedule writer must have dated a Vikings fan and got their heart broken because this is a terrible start to their schedule.
I used to date somebody in Minnesota, and you ain't lying about that, okay?
The Giants.
I'll tell y'all that story off the air.
Hold on.
They're going 2-6 in their first 8.
Yeah.
They lose at Jacksonville. They lose at Tennessee. They bury the Bears, beat the Cardinals, beat up Kirk 2 Chainz Cousins, bury the Bears again. Then they're at Seattle. Seattle's going to mess around and win that game.
Yeah.
I don't know why I see it, but they're going to mess around and win that game.
This is the game that will probably keep the Seahawks in contention.
Yep.
I got Seattle 28-24.
What? The NFL Cup?
To the NFL Cup with ya.
We'll do that next week. Hold on to that, Joy. Hold on to that idea. We'll do that one next week.
NFL Cup is about to be.
We're going to all create the NFL Cup tiers. All right.
If you're the NFL Cup
bracket, Brian.
Just a minute.
The NFL Cup is going to be a T-shirt.
Yes, it will.
And y'all just gave me the idea.
You're welcome.
It'll be a picture of Victor's thumb, like throwing some he's ejecting somebody.
Yep.
And we see to the NFL Cup with you, or whatever league we're talking, or whatever league we're talking about that week.
Yep.
We need it specifically with Angel Hernandez because he's thrown so many people out for no reason. And
No. You need 2 people: Angel Hernandez and Joe West.
Yes.
With how many images of them throwing people out, it won't be hard to find.
I want Droid to come with NHL Cup. NHL Cup.
Oh, I'll do that after the draft pick.
17 they beat the Packers, and 18 they lose to Detroit.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm not even doing the Packers schedule. I don't have them making the playoffs.
No, they don't.
Actually,
they really don't.
I think they might squeak into a wild card if they get lucky.
Let me take a look.
That's gonna be a big if.
Let's do tank division.
Tank division, the NFC South.
Yes. Thank you, Droid. You caught on. Thank you.
Okay, let's put it like this. Let's put it like this before we even think about it. Does anyone break 500?
No.
Maybe.
Are they going to survive the playoffs?
No.
No.
Do we really need to do this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Damn.
I think
for sense of humor purposes.
I think
Okay,
honestly,
whatever.
as like an NFL fan, the Saints have probably the best chance. The Falcons suck.
I'd
The
love to
Panthers
believe.
suck.
I want to believe the Saints have the best chance. I want to see the Saints get back to the playoffs, and they be the only team from this division.
You know what?
Let's
Out
go.
of all of them, yeah.
Brother, Kool-Aid McKinstry's going to have a hell of a rookie year.
Yeah, he is. Okay, week 1, Pittsburgh kicks him in the ass.
Saints.
Week 2, Philadelphia kicks him in the ass. Week 3, Kansas City just mauls them. Week 4, hosting New Orleans will maul them, and they'll wear the Falcon. And guess what? The Falcons wear the old school uniforms, and New Orleans will bury them alive.
Yep.
Baker Mayfield, your luck is run out. That'll be a scoreless tie.
To the NFL Cup.
Week 6, scoreless tie with the Carolina Panthers, and they go to the NFL Cup. Week 7, Seattle. That's a battle for top seed in the NFL Cup. I'll give that to Atlanta, barely. And most people are thinking Atlanta's going to win this division this year. With what?
Oh,
with Kirk 2 Chainz Cousins?
Saints will definitely steamroll Broncos.
I rest my case.
The Broncos. Bo Nix and the Broncos.
Yep, they steamroll the Broncos.
Week 8, they beat Tampa. Week 8, they lose to Tampa Bay. I'm not going to talk about week 9 or 10 or 11. Lost to Dallas, lost at New Orleans. Bo Nix scores an upset.
Ooh.
And that's when Kirk 2 Chainz Cousins gets replaced.
I would say before the bye week.
Oh, they're going to lose the bye week. We all know that. They get a bye. And week 13, they see the Chargers. Chargers will beat them. They'll lose to the Vikings. They'll somehow screw up and lose to the Raiders, Giants, Redskins, and Panthers to close out the season.
Brother, it's just like the Bears. Ain't nobody going to lose to the Raiders.
Right.
Actually, you know what? If Gardner Minshew genuinely starts, maybe. Because Minshew's actually a decent quarterback.
Yeah, but they won't start him. But it's gonna be something crazy. To Tampa we go, and they lose week 1 at the Redskins. Plus 2, they lose week 2 at the Lions. They beat up Bo Nix in week 3. They get kicked in the ass in week 4. What did I say? Did I say Atlanta will score the upset in week 5? I changed my mind. Buccaneers will beat them in week 5. They'll get smashed in New Orleans, smashed against Baltimore, Atlanta again. Then the 2 best teams, weeks 9 and 10. Kansas City hangs 75, and the 49ers hang 70.
That's unfair. That's so unfair to the Buccaneers. Yeah.
Look, the
NFL
schedule writers were not fair to anybody.
It's like they get smashed by the Chiefs and like, well, it can't get no more worse than this. Then all of a sudden, here comes San Francisco,
and that's leading into and that's leading into a bye week. That's leading into their bye week.
So they get smashed before the bye. That's messed up.
Yeah.
So just like the Bills.
and they're going to get smashed after the bye because they see the remarkable Rourke.
Mm-hmm.
They'll beat Carolina, beat the Raiders, lose to the Chargers, beat the Cowboys, lose to Carolina, lose to New Orleans.
Nah, I'm not.
This
Listen,
is the only time
the Dallas Cowboys are dumb. The Dallas Cowboys do the dumbest stuff on Sunday Night Football. Find the lie.
Okay, so Brian, during something, I did mention the Cowboys.
Oh no!
Oh, I heard it.
Oh, you already saw it. Okay,
I heard it. Trust me. The trolling of the Cowboys continues. Speaking of which, let's go to their schedule.
It never stops.
What are you talking about?
How do you think I feel?
South?
Huh?
I mean, what's the point of talking with the South?
All right, let's go to the East and look at the Cowboys schedule. We're jumping all around with our NFC predictions, folks. So hang on with us. And I'll go back to this opening game. Week 1, they go to Cleveland.
All right, I'll help you out. There are a few
week
games,
1 at Cleveland.
There are a few
let's
games.
Let's go one by one.
Okay.
All right. What the hell? Oh, I know what I did here. Sorry about that, folks. Just getting some stuff organized. Week 1, they go to Cleveland.
I'm saying, there are a few games that if they lose, I'm throwing the whole season away.
Is this one of them?
This is game 1.
This is one of them.
You lose to the Browns, throwing the whole season away.
It has to be. It has to be one where you throw the whole season away.
They lose to the Saints, I'm throwing the whole season away.
Well, I'm sorry to break it to you, but you're losing to the Saints.
Week 3, Baltimore is going to run them over, and they won't throw one pass.
That's a given.
Baltimore will not have to throw. Baltimore will not have to throw one pass in that game.
Henry's going to just steamroll. Michael Parsons is going to have to earn his paycheck on this one.
Week 4, they see the remarkable Rourke, and he hangs 300 on him.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough game to play.
Week 5, they tie at Pittsburgh. No.
This is another game. They lose against Pittsburgh, throwing the whole season away.
Throw the whole season away. Week 6, they get beat up by the Lions.
Yeah.
Week 7's the bye. You already know what's going to happen in week 8.
Then week 8. We can't get rid of y'all. Y'all can't leave us alone. It's like we just a punching bag. Like, hey, let's go. I had a bad day. Let's go ahead and bring out Dallas and beat them up again.
How do you think I'm going to feel being a New England fan?
I'm laughing too hard to say to Victor, what on earth do you mean?
Hey, Victor, don't worry. Victor, don't worry.
Yeah, what you mean?
Next season, you're gonna go through hell and back.
Mm-hmm.
Week 1, 2, 3 next season.
Wait a minute, but you know what's unfair?
Season.
You know what's unfair for the Cowboys, but fair enough for me as a Niner fan. Week 6, you get mauled by the Lions. Week 7, you get a bye and you lose because they'll make a stupid trade, as they always do. And then week 8 happens.
Yep.
Sunday Night Football, one more time in Santa Clara. What you mean?
That's going to be an ass whooping.
I think the Niners and Chiefs will be the only two teams that have multiple 70-point games. They'll be like Michael Jordan scoring 50-point games.
We should have smashed 2 Chainz.
I was gonna say, Brian.
Yep.
Here's your first 3 weeks of the Cowboys next season.
Okay.
Week 1 versus Kansas City. Week 2 versus San Francisco, and Week 3 versus Detroit.
Oh,
wait a minute. What?
What?
They're going through the gauntlet because I know.
Is this 2025? Is this 25?
Yep. This is next year.
They've already released the 25 schedule.
Did they?
No. I'm making a joke.
Oh, damn it.
Man, if that were the case, I'm like,
you got my heart in my blanking throat for a joke. I swear to God.
I'll sit here like
I've done it more than once.
You know what? I got one even better, Joy. I got one even better. Here are the first 4 weeks of the season: Kansas City, San Francisco, Kansas City, all in a row.
Oh, I'll play them like they're in the same division.
No.
No. Even better. All right, they warm up with Detroit. right?
Ew.
They warm up with Detroit. They warm up at Baltimore. And then they see Kansas City, and then they see San Francisco.
I quit. I quit.
There goes the season. Yeet!
They go 0-4 in that run. They get a charity game against the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The charity game against the Bears.
And then Minnesota comes in and puts a foot in their ass.
But
no, not Minnesota. It's gonna be Philly.
It's not gonna be, it's not going to be Philly. It's going to be Houston in the Battle of Texas.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's going to be Houston. Then they go to Philadelphia and get their ass kicked. All right, let's look at the real schedule, and we'll start at the top. Week 1,
Cowboys.
Okay, Victor, this is all yours. We'll let you pick the schedule, and then we'll give our reactions to it. Week 1 at Cleveland.
All right, we get Cleveland. We should be able to take them down because it's Cleveland. Enough said.
Scoreless tie.
We should be able to beat the Saints.
You're not going to,
but we might escape. We might escape that game. It might be a really close game.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna say for that one, 36-33, Saints over Cowboys.
30. You know what? Week 2 ends in a walk-off for the Saints. And then we can see Victor like taking pounds of the Cowboys schedule and throwing them away.
Yeah.
50-yard, and it's going to be a 50-yarder. 50-yard field goal.
They don't really have hope for
60.
anything.
60.
60?
They don't really have hope for anything, I swear.
It's 6. There'll be a 60-yard walk after Micah Parsons makes an incredible play.
Mm-hmm.
The clock is running. The Saints hustle their field goal team out. Everybody's yelling their brains out. 100,000 yelling their brains out. And their kicker nails a 61-yarder as the clock goes dead.
Yeah, you
Shutting
know a lot about
everybody up.
field goals, don't you, as a 49ers/Colts fan?
Yep. I certainly do.
Vic, I'm not saying anything because my Patriots are going to have a struggle bus this year, so I'm going to be in the boat with you.
Week 3, Baltimore at Dallas.
We're getting destroyed against Baltimore.
Now,
Week 4 at the Giants.
We are going to have a hell of a time against Rourke. This might be one of the games that we split.
Yeah.
Because we're going to split between at least 2 of the teams in the NFC East. We always do.
Week 5 at Pittsburgh.
We're going to steamroll them.
Week 6, Detroit.
We're going to get destroyed.
Week 7, a bye.
And like you said, we'll probably make a bonehead trade and we'll lose the bye week.
Gerald Jones strikes again.
Yep.
Week 8 at San Francisco.
Can we just no show?
We forfeit. We forfeit. We'll see you next week.
I quit.
Right.
Get
That's
on
an I quit match. We beat them until they say I quit. And we still play them for 60 minutes. Oh, Lord. Week 9.
60-minute Iron Man match?
Ooh. There will be no Cowboy players left.
Nope.
Especially after Nick the Quick Bosa gets after him.
Yeah.
Week 9,
Corey
you
Aikman
get,
has to come out of retirement.
Yep. And so does Danny White.
And Roger Staubach because Aikman's going to get lit in the third.
With a headache. He's going to have a headache just like he did in 2000. Against the Giants. I listened to that game.
Irony.
Week 9, you get Kirk 2 Chainz Cousins.
We'll win that one.
Week 10, you host Philadelphia.
We'll get steamrolled. Well, it's in Dallas. It's in Jerry World. So we might escape. But I'm not hopeful.
Week 11, you host Houston.
We're getting steamrolled. CJ Stroud is just that guy.
Week 12, you go to the Redskins.
We might win this one. We might win this.
You tend to split more against the Redskins. 13, you see the Giants at home. And that's your Thanksgiving. That's your Thanksgiving game.
This we'll probably lose one because we usually have a hard time on Thanksgiving.
14, you host the Bengals.
I'm giving it to the Bengals. Burrow
15, you host Carolina. You're at Carolina. Beg your pardon.
We'll win that one.
16, you host Tampa Bay.
We should be able to come away with this one because it is Baker Mayfield.
17, you go to Philadelphia.
We'll lose that one.
And 18, you host the Redskins.
And we'll lose that one too.
Wow.
We split so much with the Redskins, and it's always the last game we lose
of the
to
season.
Them.
With something hanging in the balance.
Something hanging in the balance. We always.
Anybody remember 2012?
Yep.
Yeah.
Anybody remember 2012? Last game of the year, you had the division in your sights, and you blew it.
Yep. So I'm putting this way: Browns, Steelers, Panthers, and Falcons. If we lose any of those 4 games, throwing the whole season away.
To the Giants, and they celebrate their 100th season. I'm going to let Shane pick these. They host Minnesota to start the season.
Okay.
Giants and a walk-off.
Week 2, they're at the Redskins.
Loss.
Week 3, they're at Cleveland.
Everybody's going to beat Cleveland.
Yes.
Come on now.
Yes.
Okay.
Rourke goes off for 400.
I love it.
Yeah.
Week 4, they host Dallas.
They're taking it to them.
Yep. The remarkable Rourke really comes into focus. Week 5, they face Geno Smith in Seattle. I got them winning this one.
Yeah, they destroy Seattle.
Yeah. They're Seattle's done.
They're gonna send Seattle back to purgatory. And it's only the 4th, 5th week of the season.
Yep.
Week 6, Cincinnati.
Ooh,
Cincinnati beats them.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Cincy. That's a tough one.
It's a Sunday night game. Cincinnati beats them.
Yeah. Week 7, back to normal time, hosting Philadelphia.
Cool McCain will like me for this one. I got the Eagles.
I got the Eagles also. Fly, Eagles, fly, baby. Week 8, they go to Pittsburgh.
They destroy Pittsburgh.
It's a Monday night game.
Week 9, they see the Redskins at home.
Ooh.
And I'm calling for the upset. I'm calling
27-24. 27-24 Washington.
Yeah.
I'm calling for the Redskins to win that one. Week 10 at Carolina. That's a gimme.
That's a gimme.
That's actually going to be in London.
Oh, it's going to be in London.
That's still a gimme.
It might be a gimme, but it's in London, so there may be some jet lag involved.
Yeah, it's a morning game. Good Lord.
Oh, Lord. And I wanted to call that one too, man.
9:30 a.m. Eastern.
I'll wake you up. 11's a bye. 12, they host Tampa Bay.
That's a win.
They'll beat Tampa Bay. And then they'll beat Dallas on Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Yeah.
New Orleans will walk them off in week 14.
Mm-hmm. Ravens will destroy them.
Yeah.
No, I say week 15, the Giants punch them in the mouth.
You got the Giants beating the Ravens this late in the season?
Listen, it's late season. It's Baltimore. Something goofy happens during the late season.
Yeah, but Baltimore's going to be fighting for the AFC North. Baltimore's going to fight for the AFC North.
Man, Baltimore would have sealed the AFC North by now. They would have sealed it. 16, they're at Atlanta.
That's a win.
Yep.
17, they're getting destroyed by the Colts, and then they're getting destroyed by the Eagles to close the season.
Yep.
I got the Giants at the wild card.
Yeah, that's where I have them. That's where I have them. So I got a request before we close up shop here today. And that request being Mr. Droid picks the Redskins games.
All right.
I know they're called the Commanders, but I'm old and I'm old school. They're the Washington Redskins.
Get off my lawn, kids. They're the Redskins.
Bring it back. Bring it back. That's all I got to say.
Hail to the Redskins. End of story.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
All right, Droid. Lay it on us.
Week 1, they go to Tampa.
You go to Tampa, they stomp the Bucks.
Week 2, they host the Giants.
I think Giants, they're going to split with them this season, but this one, Giants are going to take.
Week 3, they go to Cincinnati.
Go to Cincinnati. Burrowhead what? I'm sorry. That's my Chiefs in me. I think it's going to be an overtime game. Jalen Daniels throws the game-winning pass to, I forgot his name. Starts with an M.
McLaurin.
Terry McLaurin from Jalen Daniels for the game-winning touchdown.
Those two are going to be frightening together.
Very.
They are going to be frightening together.
The Redskins winning on a Monday night game. Oh, that's a sight we haven't seen in ages.
Right.
Al Michaels, you would be proud.
Yes.
Week 4, they go to the Cardinals.
They stomped the Cardinals.
Yes.
Call of Booty going to end up back on Modern Warfare by the time it's over.
He's going to be re-signed with FaZe by the time he's done.
Yo!
Say that again?
He's going to be re-signed with FaZe by the time the Redskins are done with him.
Yes, Lord.
I want you to say, Droid, please, for the love of God, for all of us in the cheap seats at RFK Stadium, say that again, please.
Kyler Call of Booty Murray will be re-signed to FaZe by the time that game is over.
Yes, Lord.
Hallelujah.
I need to get a clip like that in the intro.
I'll send it to you. Week 6, they host Cleveland.
And the Browns get stomped out.
Need I say more?
Exactly. Week 7, a slugfest in Baltimore.
Baltimore comes out with that one.
I call
this
for
is
the
early
upset.
season Baltimore. They're not choking as much. So I get
I call for the upset in that game. Something goofy happens when those two get together. Week 7, you host Carolina.
Carolina. Again,
Okay.
Need I say more?
Week 8, you host the Bears.
Need I say more?
Week 9, you go to the Giants.
This is the one that the Redskins take.
Week 10, you get Pittsburgh at home.
Considering the fact that Pittsburgh is going to be worrying too much about their game on Christmas, Redskins take that one.
Yeah.
11 at Philadelphia, Thursday night.
Philadelphia is going to curb stomp the Commanders. I love Daniels as a quarterback, especially when he played at LSU. But you cannot compete with Saquon Barkley. Come on.
Yeah.
Week 12, you host the Cowboys. Okay, thank you. Week 13, you host Tennessee.
They stomped Tennessee easily.
14, you get a bye. 15, you go to New Orleans.
I have a feeling with the bye that the Redskins are going to make a good trade. They're going to get some defensive god. But week 14 is our bye, so week 15 would be New Orleans.
15, you're at New Orleans. Yes, at New Orleans.
Yeah, New Orleans.
Redskins win that one.
16, you host Philadelphia.
Host Philadelphia, that's the one we split.
17, you get 2 Chainz Cousins at home in Atlanta. And that look on his face says everything I need to know.
Yep.
And finally, I know I'm going to get this look again for those of you watching on television. Week 18 at Dallas.
You know what? Because I want to give a little bit of respect. Dak gets injured in the first quarter. Backup quarterback comes out and plays like a god, gets the win.
Ouch. Ouch.
And Victor is like, you know what? He's probably not wrong.
Yeah, I just had to you know what?
Victor's I hope that happens because maybe we'll have a chance in the playoffs without Dak at QB.
No, because then there'll be Zeke not showing up.
Does he ever show up?
He didn't for New England.
No, he did not. I am so sorry.
It's rested. All right, last one before we get out of here for the weekend and before I got to take off and go to wound care and head to South Bend. Let's go to Santa Clara. And I want everybody in on this one. Shut up, Victor.
Niners go 16-1. There you go. Problem solved.
I want to hear how bad it's going to get for some of these teams because Jordan and I already said that our game is going to be like 125 to 122 in regulation.
I'm sorry,
No,
but
I said in overtime.
No, I said regular. I'm saying regulation.
I'm sorry.
I wanted to be in. I wanted to be in regulation. Although I love playing overtime with Kansas City, because it'll come down to the final seconds.
Let's just hope Shanahan knows the overtime rules.
Yes. All right.
Niners have a cake schedule.
All right, y'all. Let's go. Week one. We host the Jets. Score predictions.
5,205 to 0.
The odometer rolls over. No, let's be real here.
The scorekeeper falls asleep mid-game.
49-14.
Let's be real. 49-7.
I was
52-7. I say 52-7.
Okay.
Week 2, we go to Minnesota. We beat them 45-10.
45-6.
42-14. Paul Allen loses his voice in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Yep.
30-10 with a 2-point conversion or safety happening sometime in the game.
I can see it. Week 3, we go to the Rams, and we'll beat the Rams 35-10. Sorry, Playmaker.
When was the last time the Rams beat the 49ers?
Last year. Last game of the year when we played our backups.
Okay, let me rephrase this. When was the last time the Rams legit beat the 49ers?
2018.
I rest my case then.
I'm going to say 28. I'm going to say this is going to be a close one. I'm going 28-23.
35-24.
I think the Niners will win by double digits. I like Shane's score, 35-24.
The only reason why I'm saying that is because I think the Rams defense will wake up in the second half.
Yeah, the Rams defense is good, even minus the retiring Aaron Donald. That Ram defense is nothing to mess with.
Oh, no.
Okay, y'all. Here we go.
No.
Week 4 in Santa Clara, we host the New England Patriots. Yours?
Oh, Lord. Is this the Drake May injury game, right?
42-10. I'm sorry, dog.
Don't apologize. He knows.
I'm not sorry because I know it's going to at least be 49 or 50 they're going to hang on us.
You know what? For the sake of the name, 49ers hang 49 on him.
Oh, for the sake of, even being a homer, I'm going to give us a little bit of credit. 52-7.
Yikes.
I'm going to say 49-7. 49 for the team name of the 49ers and 7 for the amount of Super Bowl rings you ended up getting with Tom.
Okay. Number 6, week 5. I beg your pardon. Oh boy, I'm ahead of myself. Week 5, we face Arizona.
90-0.
It's a Madden score.
Yep.
And we move on. Week 6, we go to Seattle, and we're going to bury them.
Who's Daniels with again? I forgot.
That's a Thursday night game.
56-3. Somehow they luck into field goal range.
Like they did last year when we played them on Thanksgiving.
Yep.
I agree with the score. 56-3. 56-3. And then there's week 7. We already discussed that. Then there's week 8. Listen, week 7, I don't care who wins that game.
It's fireworks.
I want anarchy, and I want 100 points.
Game of the year is going to be right there.
73.
And Jordan and I are going to be so tired after that game.
77-70. Last one with touchdown wins
after that game.
I can feel it.
Last
one. I say that'll be our and I say that's our only loss of the year.
63-60. Walk-off field goal.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm going 77-70.
77-70.
In reality,
Kansas City gets 11 touchdowns, and the Niners only get 10.
As like somebody who likes to think in reality, besides these guys, I think with both teams having the number 1 and number 2 defense in the league,
yes,
this is going to be a low-scoring affair.
I would not be surprised at that.
Okay, you want me to actually have a realistic?
But
24-17, Chiefs over Niners.
You want me to go actually realistic here? 35-28.
I'll say
I can see that too.
I'll say 42-35 because
we all agree the Chiefs win.
Yeah, because it's really going to come down to the most dynamic offense. Both defenses are really good. It's going to come down to who's the better gunslinger. It's going to be a okay.
It's going to come down to who is shootout. Like. It's going to come down to who's really dragging at the end of the game.
Fair.
Yeah.
It's going to come down.
It's going to be a track meet.
Yeah.
It's going to be more like a shootout because it's going to come down to Brock Purdy to Kittle, or it's going to be from Mahomes to Kelsey.
And I love Mahomes. Okay, don't get it. I love Mahomes. It could be Mahomes to Xavier Worthy.
It could.
I don't say it's going to be to Xavier. I'm not going to say it's going to be to Kelsey. I'm going to give it to Noah Gray.
I can see it.
Okay.
And on my side, I'll make the prediction. It's not going to be to Kittle. It's going to be to Juwan Jennings.
Okay.
I could see it either to Jennings or Ayuk.
It'll be a third down. It'll be a third down play where Brock Purdy will rescue the Niners with a completion to Juwan Jennings.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those kind of stupid plays that we saw in the NFC Championship game.
Yep.
I see it more going Purdy to Ayuk, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly, I want anarchy just like Snowman. Trey Greenlaw checks in, makes himself eligible for a receiver, it scores the game winner.
That would be
that ain't anarchy. That's full blown freaking Armageddon.
You know what? If that happens, if we beat, I will lose my voice. I will lose my mind, and then I'll lose my voice. I will fall out of this chair and have my wife coming in here going, "What happened?" Then she'll look at the screen and she goes, "Oh, the Niners won." All right, you know what happens in week 8. We get a bye in week 9, and Jody's telling me we got a few minutes left. Week 10, we'll blow out Tampa Bay, bury Seattle, go to Green Bay and bury them on their field. Same with Buffalo. Y'all already know what we're going to do to the Bears and the Rams.
102-0.
Yep. We're going to beat the Rams in Santa Clara. 16, we get the Dolphins, and that's the week we clinch the West. 17 is the Lions. That's where we clinch the number 1 seed. And 18 is the Arizona Cardinals, and we beat them up with our 2s and 3s.
Yeah, I got you guys clinching the West against Los Angeles the week prior.
Yeah, I'm thinking that too.
I got Marvin Harrison in that last game having his best game.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Without Murray throwing, of course.
Of course.
He's going to be signed to face.
Look, Murray needs to go.
You know what? I'll give you a voice. I'll make a voice recording for you, Snowman, after this.
Please do. I got to have that now.
And you got to get on the road.
Oh, shucks. Yep, she just cued me. Let me get out of here because I got to go to South Bend. Back Monday. We're back on regular schedule. Have a great weekend, everybody. God bless you. And remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they are simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We are, and we hope y'all are too. We are out of here. I'll see y'all Monday. So long, everybody.